Welcome to another grid art video. And this grid art video is part of the playlist in which I explore different ways of working with grid art. Because grids are one of my favorite tools for experimenting, losing up, and exploring ideas just without pressure. And usually I divide my paper in smaller sections. And that's what you do with grid art, and that's what I'll be doing in this video too. But usually you will see me make a grid that consists of little squares or little triangles in which I experiment with watercolor, abstract shapes, materials, you name it. But today I'm not really going to experiment with materials, or actually I'm always experimenting with materials. Today I'm making my grid just look a little bit different. Because when you make a grid, there's no rule that tells you that you have to work with squares or you have to work with triangles. Why not experiment with your grid itself? Maybe you just want to freewheel it. Maybe you just want to see where the tape wants to go. Maybe you want to have triangles. Maybe you even want to have circles. Well, that's going to be pretty hard with tape, but everything's possible, so experiment with it. And today I'm using new tape. This tape works really well when I use it with materials that aren't really that wet. So today is going to be the day to see if it really stands the liquid material test, because I haven't used it with watercolors or acrylic inks yet. So today will be the day. And actually, when you work with a grid like this, it works exactly the same as when you work with your square grid or with your I don't even I cannot even remember the word, the rectangle grid. I'm sorry, there it was. This works exactly the same. So you can do it any way you like. I like to start with making just some marks, and I'm making these marks because then my grid is just not totally blank. You don't have to. I like to do this. And I just let the pencil wander around my page. And this is a water-soluble pencil. But I'm going to wet it. I'm not going to try to smear too much, but I'm going to wet it so you probably will still see some lines, but you also see a little bit of a flow around the lines, just making them a little bit softer. But I'm not wetting the page because of this pencil. No, I'm wetting this page because I'm going to work with my acrylic inks. And I want them to move across the page and see what they are going to do. I'll just start with dropping them on the page. I'm trying to get every shape, but actually you don't have to. You can just play and make an overall piece. And I decided to help the ink a bit because I'm working with watercolor paper, and really good watercolor paper. So you can see the ink spread on the page, and it looks really lovely, but I just want to help it a little bit more and spread it out a bit more. And I'm using different colors because I want them to mix, but I want them to mix organically. But still, you will also see me use this spray bottle and see how that will spread the ink. But I'm also going to use my brush a bit. But the reason why I'm doing that is that you don't have to, because I love the empty spaces in a grid, because that can work really well. That can let your artwork breathe and give it more room. But I want it to be filled a bit more because this grid looks so totally different. I want to give you those crisp white lines so you can see what a totally different grid does to your grid art. But again, you don't have to. Just go and play. And actually, I'm playing too with my brush. It's moving it around, seeing how it flows, how the colors shift. But of course, I keep those little parts because I like those almost little trees that they make in the water. And if you think, well, there's just too much ink, you can get a paper towel and dab to get it off. But when you get it off, the colors are less intense. So this could be a personal choice, but I just want to show you when you work with wet materials and you are really impatient, this is something you could do to stop the flow. But if you're doing it just to make it more dry, you could, it works, but not too much. So you probably need some help. And this looks ridiculous because I'm wetting it after I dried it, but I did it just to see if I can get some water splatters and what it will do with ink, just some kind of experiment. This was not to make it dry. And of course, now I'm going to make it dry because now I'm using my hair dryer. And I'm speeding this up for you. And I didn't do this to make it totally dry, but I just want to make it a little bit easier to go to my next step. And I wanted to do a stencil. I have a vibrant, bright, warm background, and I just wanted to add some gold bits. Usually when I use a stencil, I just put it down. I don't do this too neat. I'm just dabbing it with a sponge. And this is a sponge brush, but you could also use your makeup sponge, of course. And I'm just putting down random, just see how it goes, because yeah, my ink blobs went down random too, so I want to keep the playfulness with each grid, each section. And there you have it, but of course I'm not done at this stage. Now I decided I need to add some light to make some contrast, and I want to do the light with some asemic writing. So I'm writing something with my needle bottle that I filled myself. This is just acrylic paint. And I'm not writing down anything. You could if you want to give it a message, but I just want to have some letters in each section. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going. I don't do anything too deliberate, just see that I have something in each section. That's the only thing that I'm thinking of. And this is nice, but I also like to have that little spark. So I decided to grab my neon pink, and I'm just throwing down some splatter to make it fun and playful. And I'm going to use my hair dryer again. And the reason I'm using my hair dryer now is I don't need it to be totally dry to take up the tape, but it's easier to peel off my tape. And I want to have it a little bit more dry so those splatters won't just run too much on my crisp white lines, which I'm hoping to have. I've never used this tape with so much liquid, so let's see what happens. Yeah, not really crisp, but still it's a line. Let's see what happens. No, it's going to be even less crisp. But you still see my lines. And actually, this is not the result I wanted, because I wanted to have those crisp lines. That's why I put the grid down. But I'm not sure if I dislike it, because it gives something extra to my paper. And as you can see, yeah, the tape is ruining my paper a bit too. I'm not sure if I will use this kind of tape again. I thought I used this new tape I bought from Amazon, artist tape, but not cheap artist tape. It's usually just regular cheap tape, as you can see. If you have a tip for really good tape that's not too expensive and available in the Netherlands, please let me know in the comments, because I'm still searching for some. The purple one I bought at Action If you're in Northern Europe, you know what I mean. And that's perfect tape. It's sensitive tape. I love it, but it's just too wide to make those small lines if you work a bit smaller. But I use it on the edges and you see the difference. But like I said, my videos in my grid art series are here to experiment. It's some kind of exploration with the grid as a starting point, and usually do it in my sketchbook, and today I used my watercolor paper. Is it perfect? No. Did I have fun? Yes. I hope you had fun too. So if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And of course, if you want to see more grid art videos or other creative videos to get your creative juices flowing or get you inspired, just subscribe to this channel and you will get notified when there are new fun videos coming up. So yeah, I don't dislike it. That's what I'm going to say. I learned from this video. I know what to do next time. Hope to see you then.